Hello, I'm Dr. Grace Mille. Welcome to Vital Men Over 50, where science meets peace of mind. If your body doesn't feel as strong as it used to, you're sleeping less, or your drive feels dimmer, you're not alone. Here we'll learn how to balance hormones, restore strength, and reclaim natural energy. No drugs, no forcing it, just small habits with big impact. Because age doesn't take your strength away, it teaches you to use it more wisely. Take a deep breath, soften your shoulders, and begin this journey with me. Hit subscribe and join thousands of men living healthier, stronger, and more at peace after 50. You've probably heard this question 100 times. What do women really want? Whenever that topic comes up, the room leans in. Some people laugh, some make a joke, but behind the smiles is a quiet worry many men never say out loud. A 58-year-old patient once told me, "Doctor, I love my wife, but sometimes I wonder, am I enough for her?" He said it with embarrassment, as if confessing a mistake. But it's a very human question, and I believe many men have wondered the same. Today, speaking as a urologist, a sex health specialist, and a woman, I want you to breathe easier. Science shows that the average size is exactly what most women prefer. I know you might half believe it. Culture media and exaggerated stories online have pushed the idea that bigger is always better. But the truth is much gentler. Serious research has surveyed thousands of women, looking not just at what they say, but also at real-world choices when no one's watching. The results are clear. Most women are most comfortable and satisfied with lengths around 4 to 6 inches, with an average girth near 4.5 inches, which is right in the natural average range for men. In other words, the thing many men worry about is something nature already designed to fit well. Human bodies, male and female, are made to harmonize, not to compete. Once you understand that, you realize there is no single standard for intimacy, only what's right for the two of you. A woman once told me in a private consult, "I don't need him to be perfect. I need him to listen, to slow down, and to be there with me." I never forgot that. In a noisy world, people forget that presence and emotion make women happy, not a number on a ruler. Picture this: a quiet dinner, soft candlelight in your partner's eyes. She smiles not because you did something grand, but because you're truly there. In that moment, every study and statistic suddenly feels small. When researchers analyzed purchase data for women's intimate products, they noticed something interesting. The best sellers were 4 to 6 inches in length and about 4.5 inches in girth, the same as typical average male size. Oversized products sell far less. That tells us women aren't seeking spectacle or records. They want comfort, safety, and natural pleasure. It's proof of what I tell my patients. Your body doesn't need to change to be loved. It needs to be understood, and you need to feel confident in it. Another gentleman once asked me, "Doctor, if I'm not big, will that affect her feelings?" I smiled and said, "The only thing that can make you not enough is a lack of confidence." Confidence is the invisible muscle women feel first. When you know you're normal, and that normal is already ideal, you behave differently, gentler, more natural, nothing to prove. And that relaxed mind lets your body work better. Circulation improves, hormones balance, because fear has stepped aside. That's the mind-body effect. When your mind eases, your body responds. I understand many men in their 50s and 60s feel they're losing their edge. Bodies change, hormones shift, confidence dips. Remember, no age takes away true attractiveness. Real appeal isn't brute force, it's calm self-knowledge. When you accept that average is ideal, you stop comparing and start focusing on what matters most: emotional connection. I believe every man carries a quiet kind of strength, not to prove anything, but to love deeply. When you look at the woman beside you, remember, she doesn't want more. She wants real. A tender touch, an attentive gaze, often worth 100 times more than the worries in your head. So, if you're watching this and have ever felt insecure about your body, take a slow breath. By the best data we have, and from my clinical experience, you're not just enough, you're already right. At any age, your body can love, feel, and bring joy when you respect it. Remember, size doesn't create love. Presence, understanding, and trust do. To me, that's the only ideal size that matters: the size of your heart. If this message helped, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Sometimes a small reminder is all it takes for someone to feel truly worthy. Over more than 20 years working with couples, I've noticed something fascinating. People are naturally curious about what's unusual. Curiosity isn't wrong. It can help us learn about ourselves, our feelings, our bodies. A woman once told me I was curious to try extra large once. Then I realized I didn't need that to be happy. She laughed and added, "I just want to feel loved and understood, not have someone prove anything." That line stayed with me. Women can be curious, but curiosity doesn't mean wanting to change the norm. It's like trying a new dish. You might sample it once, but your favorite everyday meal is still what feels familiar, comfortable, and right for your body. Intimacy is the same: fit, comfort, and genuine emotion win over showmanship every time. I once read a study from the University of California showing that women may find larger than average sizes interesting to talk about, but when it comes to real-life comfort and satisfaction, their choices tend to return to the average range. Hello again, I'm Dr. Grace Miller. Welcome to Vital Men Over 50, where science meets peace. If your body doesn't feel as vigorous as it used to, you're sleeping less, or your drive is dipping, you're not alone. Here we'll learn to balance hormones, restore strength, and rediscover natural energy. No drugs, no forcing, just small habits with big results. Age doesn't take your strength, it teaches you to use it wisely. Take a deep breath, let your shoulders soften, and start this journey with me. Hit subscribe and join thousands of men living healthier, stronger, and more at peace after 50. When women were asked what they actually prefer to experience, over 80% chose average, or just slightly above average. That means they may be curious, but they don't want that curiosity to turn into discomfort or pain. And when you think about it, that makes perfect sense. A woman's body is designed to prioritize safety and relaxation. When she feels anxious, tense, or uncomfortable, her body tightens, and pleasure nearly disappears. So sometimes more doesn't bring joy, it actually makes her close off. I remember counseling a couple in their early 60s. The husband looked uneasy and said, "Doctor, my wife just doesn't seem as interested as before. Is it because I'm not big enough?" I turned to his wife and asked, "Do you feel that way?" She laughed softly and shook her head. No, I just want him near me, not rushing, not trying to prove anything. I just want him to be with me. You see, women don't ask for more, they ask for real. When I share stories like this with my young medical students, they're always surprised. Because from a young age, society has planted a false belief that intimacy is a competition, that being stronger, bigger, or lasting longer means being better. But if you ask mature women, especially those over 40, they'll tell you something entirely different. They'll say, I want emotion, I want closeness, I want to be loved through his eyes, his breath, his attention, not just his body. Another fascinating finding from research: girth and comfort influence women's choices far more than length does. In other words, women don't pick what's biggest, they pick what feels right. Because women understand their bodies far better than most men realize. They know their comfort zone and their limits. And honestly, I think men could learn from that too. Learn to understand your own body instead of pushing past it. Learn to enjoy connection instead of chasing a social media standard. Curiosity is natural, but true satisfaction comes from emotion and trust. When two people are truly connected, every breath, every glance, every touch becomes the perfect size. No one's thinking about numbers anymore, only the feeling of being loved. Remember this, at 50, 60, or even 70, you don't need to be bigger to be attractive. You just need to understand more your body, your partner, and the truth that happiness isn't found in showing off, but in harmony. Because love doesn't need to be extra large. It only needs to be big enough to let two people, even halfway through life, smile again when they touch. If you're watching this, remember, curiosity is part of being human. But the most beautiful things are usually the simplest ones, the ones that feel right, complete, and honest. I often tell my young students, sometimes the smallest details reveal more truth than any big survey ever could. One of my favorite studies analyzed thousands of best-selling women's products. And guess what they found? Not the extra large or ultra long ones topping the list, but the moderate-sized, reasonably priced, comfortable ones. It sounds simple, but it's a profound lesson about human nature and happiness. I once met a woman in her early 60s. She came to me not for a medical problem, but simply to understand herself better. She said, Dr. Grace, at my age, I don't need anything impressive. I just want to feel connected and not in pain. Her words moved me deeply. Because in a world obsessed with extremes, it's rare to hear someone talk about enoughness. And yet, that's exactly what women seek: a sense of emotional fullness, not physical size. Scientists have also found something interesting. When they tracked women's shopping patterns across 8 major websites, they discovered that girth and comfort influenced decisions far more than length. Women care about what feels natural to their body, not what looks impressive. Oversized products were rarely chosen. Why? Because the female body has clear physical limits. The average vaginal depth is about 3 to 4 inches when relaxed and expands slightly when aroused. Go too far beyond that and the body responds with tension, not pleasure. I always remind men, when a woman's body closes up, it's not rejection, it's protection. What she needs isn't more, but just enough to feel safe. A man once asked me, Doctor, should I worry if I'm not like other men? I smiled and said, if your wife isn't complaining, she's probably happy. And if she's quiet, sometimes that silence means she feels cared for. Women feel through their hearts more than their bodies. What they need isn't a stronger experience, but a meaningful one. That comes from attention, respect, and rhythm from two people moving together in harmony. I often compare it to choosing a pair of shoes. You might see a pair of high heels that looks amazing in the store, but the moment you walk in them, you realize it's not about how striking they are, but how comfortable they feel. Intimacy is the same way. When two bodies truly align, the right fit isn't about inches, it's about breath pace and listening. Another study from the UK found that when women feel emotionally comfortable, their oxytocin and endorphin levels rise sharply, making them 3 times more likely to reach climax, no matter their partner's size. That means real pleasure comes from connection, not dimensions. And any man who loves sincerely, listens deeply, and moves slowly can give that gift to the woman he loves. Have you ever noticed women remember the hugs, the kind words, the caring look long after they forget the perfect physical encounter? It's no mystery. For them, intimacy is a language of emotion, not muscle. I always tell my male patients, you don't need to be stronger. You just need to be more present. When you show up, listen and let things unfold naturally, your body knows exactly what to do. So if you're watching this and ever thought you had to meet some kind of standard to be loved, let it go. There is no standard, because your body and your partners were made to find each other at the perfect point of harmony. And that truly is the magic of real love. It doesn't chase numbers. It only needs a heart that can feel. Share this video with someone who may be doubting themselves, because sometimes just one gentle reminder that they are already enough is all it takes to help them fall in love with themselves again. You know, after thousands of conversations and hundreds of private consultations, I've come to realize something profound. What women truly seek in intimacy isn't perfection, it's connection. I once asked a female patient in her 50s what made her happiest in her marriage. She smiled and said, "It's not the perfect moments in bed, doctor. It's when he's really there looking at me, touching me, not rushing, not pretending." That answer left me silent for a while, because in that simplicity lies a truth no textbook can teach. Women don't seek perfection, they seek presence. When you're young, you might think sex is about skill, strength, endurance, about how long, how strong, how often. But as you grow older, especially after 50, you realize sex is a language of the heart. It's no longer a competition, it's a meeting of two souls. A man can be technically skilled, but without emotional connection, it's just an action. Yet with connection, even a gentle touch or a quiet smile can ignite real passion. I once worked with a couple married for over 30 years. The husband told me, "I feel weaker now, not as energetic as before. I'm afraid she's disappointed." His wife just laughed softly, took his hand and said, "I don't need you to be who you were. I just need you to be here real and still with me." That's what I want every man watching this to understand. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be authentic. Because for women, emotional connection is the most powerful aphrodisiac, stronger than any hormone or pill. And science supports this. Neuroscience studies show that when a woman feels loved and emotionally connected, the part of her brain that controls pleasure, the nucleus accumbens, becomes twice as active. That means emotional safety is what allows pleasure to happen naturally. But when she feels judged, pressured, or unheard, her body closes off, not because she doesn't want to, but because she no longer feels safe enough to open. I want you to imagine this. You and your partner sitting together in silence. No words, no music, just eye contact. a touch of the hand, and the soft rhythm of each other's breath. That moment is connection. No performance, no technique, just love and presence. And that's the feeling women remember most. Deep down, they don't need a perfect man. They just need a man who's truly there. Once during a workshop, I asked a group of older women, if you had to choose between a man with a perfect body and one who truly listens, who would you choose? They didn't even hesitate. One woman said, I'd choose the one who makes me feel loved, not the one who makes me prove it. And the rest nodded in agreement. Connection doesn't take much. It just asks you to slow down. Slow down to really look into her eyes. Slow down to hear what she's not saying. Slow down to remember that happiness isn't in the outcome, but in the moment you're both fully present. I know many people in midlife feel like they've lost their spark, but sometimes the flame isn't gone. It just needs a little air. A short message, a small compliment, a morning hug. Those are what reignite connection. I once told a male patient, you don't have to be the man you were 20 years ago. You just need to be the man who makes her feel safe now. Months later, he came back smiling and said, Doctor, you were right. When I stopped trying to be perfect, we became happy again. You see, intimacy has never been about the body. It's about two souls, about listening, about a gaze that understands, and a hand that knows how to care. And if you have that, then even if your body isn't perfect, you are more than enough. If you're watching this, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Love doesn't require perfection, only sincerity. And sincerity at any age is what makes a person truly attractive. You know, the longer I work with men in their 50s and 60s, the more I believe this real attractiveness doesn't come from age, it comes from confidence and self-awareness. Many men think they've lost their edge because of age, but most of the time it's not physical decline, it's the loss of belief in themselves. They start to think their time has passed, that lower hormones or slower reflexes mean they can't love like before. But that's not true. One afternoon, I met Richard, a 61-year-old former athlete. He looked sad as he said, Doctor, I'm not the man I used to be. My body's slower, my reactions weaker. I'm afraid my wife is disappointed. So I asked, has she told you that? He hesitated. No, but I can feel it. I smiled and said, sometimes what you feel isn't what's real. Maybe what she's feeling is that you're pulling away because you're afraid. He paused, and in that silence he understood. Because fear, not age, is what steals your vitality fastest. Picture this, a man who's confident, who knows his body, who listens and takes care of himself. He walks into a room differently. He doesn't need to prove anything. His presence alone speaks volumes. That's what true vitality looks like. It doesn't come from testosterone, it comes from understanding and inner peace. Science shows this clearly. After 50, testosterone naturally declines, but that doesn't mean your body shuts down. It simply needs to be re-understood like an older engine that still runs beautifully when maintained right. When you exercise regularly, sleep well, and eat foods rich in zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and omega-3s, your body responds. Your hormones rebalance naturally. Blood flow improves. And with that comes renewed desire, stamina, and vitality. Many of my patients, after just 2 months of lifestyle changes, no medication, no hormone therapy, tell me they feel alive again. Not just stronger, but more confident in their relationships. One man in his 50s told me, "Dr. Grace, I realize that when I take care of myself, I look at my wife differently. I notice her more. I have the energy to love her not just in bed, but in life." That's a beautiful truth because sex and health aren't separate. When you care for your body, you're also nurturing your emotions and your love. People often ask me, "Doctor, what's the secret to getting my edge back?" My answer is simple. Know yourself and believe in yourself. Knowing yourself means understanding what your body needs. Nourishment, rest, movement, and real moments of relaxation. Believing in yourself means refusing to let fear, shame, or comparisons dim your worth. When you're confident, your hormones work better, your heart rate settles, and blood flow improves. Confidence is a kind of psychological testosterone, and no pill can replace it. I've seen men jump to synthetic hormones too early. At first they feel stronger, more energized, but over time the body slows its own natural testosterone production and they become dependent. That's why I always say, don't rush to intervene if your body doesn't truly need it. Help your body restore its own production through smart habits and a positive mindset. You can't be 20 forever, but you can be strong and compelling at any age. And that begins from the inside. Remember this. Women don't need a perfect man. They want a man who can stay present, who loves, listens, and trusts himself. When you understand your body, you stop fearing change. You know how to breathe, how to touch, how to love, and most of all, how to be there. If you're 50, 60, or beyond, please don't believe your time has passed. Your edge isn't in the past, it's in how you live today. Every unhurried step, every deep breath, every loving glance can rekindle the energy you thought you'd lost. Start by understanding your body, caring for it, and telling yourself each day, I am enough. I am strong. I am lovable. When you believe that, your body will believe it too. There's something I repeat to my patients, especially couples over 50. There is no such thing as an outdated sex life, only hearts that stopped talking. Sex in midlife isn't a fitness contest. It's a symphony of confidence, communication, and emotion, the simple foundation that keeps love and intimacy alive for decades. I once met a well-dressed man in his 60s whose eyes dropped whenever intimacy came up. He said, "Doctor, I'm afraid I'm not attractive anymore." I asked, "Who told you that?" He paused. "No one. I just think it." That's what happens to so many of us. No one is judging you, you're judging yourself. When a man loses faith in himself, he doesn't just lose his edge, he loses the energy his partner feels. Women are highly perceptive. They sense your confidence before you ever touch them. When you approach with the belief, I am enough, I am worthy, your body naturally sends signals of safety, attraction, and vitality. Confidence doesn't come from biceps or a measuring tape. It comes from within, from knowing your body, listening to it, and respecting it. One of the biggest mistakes older couples make is stopping the conversation about intimacy. They think, at our age, why bring it up? But that silence is exactly what creates distance. I counseled a couple married 35 years. She said, I love him, but I don't know what he wants anymore. He answered quietly, I don't know how to start again. I asked them to try something simple 15 minutes a day just to talk, no judgment, no phones, no TV. 2 months later, they came back, holding hands and smiling like newlyweds. No magic, just conversation. In love, words are the bridge to intimacy. A sincere, "You're still beautiful," or "I miss you," can be more powerful than 1,000 techniques. Bodies change, feelings don't age. Women over 50 often need more time to warm up emotionally. Men can learn to be patient, to listen, to lead gently. When emotions are respected, the body naturally responds. Science confirms it. When two people feel connected and safe, the brain releases oxytocin and endorphins, reducing stress, improving blood flow, and deepening pleasure. Emotion is the guide for desire. If the mind is tense, even a healthy body struggles to feel pleasure. But when the heart is relaxed, loving and trusting intimacy can blossom even if hormones are lower than before. Remember, there is no age at which humans stop wanting to be touched, to love, and to connect. The body may age, but the heart, when fed with confidence, communication, and emotion, stays young. And in truth, couples over 50 often have an advantage. They're not in a hurry, they're not competing. They understand that sex isn't a moment, it's a journey where every hug and every breath matters. If you're in midlife and your relationship feels cool, don't worry. You don't need a new flame. You may just need to fan the old one with attention, eye contact, and honest words. Start again with a simple check-in, with a morning smile, with a hand on your partner's shoulder and the words, "I'm here." You're here. Sometimes that gentle touch is the first day of a new spring in your life together. Have you noticed? When we're young, love is like a strong wind, intense, hurried, sometimes loud. In our 50s and 60s, love slows down. It stops being a chase and becomes the art of presence and listening. I once asked a couple married over 40 years, "What's your secret to staying close and tender?" The husband smiled, squeezed his wife's hand, and said, "I learned to be quiet when she needs to speak and to speak when she needs to hear me. That's it. And that's what I want to leave you with today." Presence means sitting beside your person without reaching for your phone. It means listening not to reply, but to understand. It's looking at them and feeling, "I'm lucky we still have each other." I've seen many couples drift, not because they stopped loving each other, but because they forgot to be present. They're together physically, but their minds are stuck in yesterday or worried about tomorrow, while the most precious thing, the present moment, quietly slips by. A woman once told me, her voice trembling. She said to me, "Grace, I don't need him to say sweet things. I just need him to look at me when I'm speaking." Sometimes presence is the greatest gift you can give the one you love. When was the last time you truly listened, not with your ears, but with your heart? I once asked a group of middle-aged men in my marriage workshop, "What do you think makes a woman feel most loved?" Most of them answered, "When I bring her flowers, compliment her, or touch her." I nodded and said, "All of those are right. But there's one more when you listen to her." Listening is the simplest, yet the deepest way to say, "You matter to me." And when a woman listens, she's saying, "You are safe with me." No words are more powerful than that. Many people think passion fades with age and that love fades with it. But that's not true. It simply changes form. When love slows down, you begin to feel with subtler senses, a longer handhold, a quiet meal shared without hurry, a smile that appears just from hearing your partner's laughter. That is mature love, not loud, but steady. Not dazzling, but warm. It doesn't demand, it simply exists like a gentle heartbeat. reminding you that you're alive and loved. I remember a 70-year-old patient who told me, "My husband and I don't need passion like before. We just need to lie next to each other, hold hands, and feel peaceful." You see, when love passes its youth, it doesn't disappear, it settles. And in that stillness, we realize something simple. What we need isn't intensity, it's authenticity. Love at this age doesn't need to be perfect or new. It just needs to be real. When you touch, do it with respect. When you speak, do it with honesty. And when you're silent, let that silence hold warmth, not distance. Because in the end, true intimacy isn't about actions, it's about the feeling of being understood. And to understand someone, you must be present. You must listen. You must love with a heart that's been through pain, yet still knows how to feel. Real love doesn't need to rush. It only needs to walk together slowly but sincerely. Each morning when you open your eyes and see the person beside you, whisper to yourself, "Thank you, we're still here." That's the miracle youth often forgets, but maturity understands deeply. If you're watching this video, I want you to pause for a few seconds, take a deep breath, and think of the person you love. You might not say it often, but let them know you're still here and you're still listening. Love isn't about possession, it's about presence. And when you learn to be present, love, even when it slows, always finds its way home. If you've journeyed with me through this entire series, from the first part about the body to this final chapter about the heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time, for your openness, and for choosing to walk beside me on this journey of understanding, healing, and mature love. We've talked about many things, about men's private worries, about how women feel about trust, connection, and the art of loving when life slows down. But if I could leave you with only one message, it would be this. You don't have to become someone else to be loved. You only need to be yourself, to know your body, to know your heart, and to be truly present with your partner. Because in the end, love isn't perfection. Love is truth. I once told a man in his 70s, "You don't need to find your 30s again. 70 has its own kind of beauty." He smiled and said, "You're right, doctor. At this age, I don't need much, just what's real." That, I think, is the beauty of love in midlife and beyond. No storms, no competition, just calm care and gratitude. Happiness isn't found in grand moments. It's when you can hold someone's hand and say, "We've walked through all these years and we're still smiling." Many fear growing old because they think love fades. But love doesn't fade, it simply changes rhythm. It moves from passionate to gentle, from fiery to understanding. And sometimes that gentleness is what stays with us the longest. So if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, know this. You can still love, still desire, still rediscover yourself, not by trying to become someone else, but by loving more truthfully, more deeply, and more slowly. Before we end this journey, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, "I'm still alive. I still love. And I am still enough." That's the one truth age can never take from you. Thank you for walking with me through every story, every reflection, every word. If this series has made you feel lighter, more connected, or simply made you smile at the thought of your partner, then that to me is success. Keep spreading this understanding and love to the people you care about. Because somewhere out there, someone may need a reminder that they are still worthy of love. Age can change the body, but it can never touch a heart that still knows how to love. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Hit subscribe so that when I return, you'll be the first to hear from me. Until then, love your life and love the person beside you fully and peacefully. Because love never disappears. It only learns how to grow deeper.